Hi everyone, this is Norman Kochenek here for Eyes on Cricket with Norman Kochenek. I'm actually broadcasting here from Coogee Beach, and I'll show you more about Coogee Beach shortly. I'll go and have a look at the beach. You can see a bit of it there now in front of me, but that's we'll talk more about that later. I'll do it from the car for the moment because there's a bit more juice in the tank, so we'll stay here for the moment, but we'll eventually go to the beach area and enjoy the morning here in Sydney, Australia. It's a beautiful day. Well, it's about 18 degrees Celsius. It certainly isn't extremely hot, but it's still about 9:30 in the morning here. It's actually 8:30 in the morning in Brisbane, where the test has been, the first test of the Ashes is on, between Australia, of course, and England. We all know that that's the case, and the test will be one of those test matches which will, you would argue, set the tone for the series. And the series, of course, is 5 tests. The first test being in Brisbane at the GABBA, which is colloquially called the GABBA. Normally, the GABBA is a name, an Aboriginal name given to that site, adopted as the GABBA. So that's the first test that started some 3 days ago. We're into the third day of the test. England won the toss and elected to bat, which was the right decision to make. It may not have turned out to be a good decision, but it was the right decision to make. England didn't quite deliver, though. They got all out for 147, with Pat Cummins taking a 5 for 38. First 5 for in his first innings as captain. Then, of course, the rest of the afternoon was rained off, and then bad light also affected the end of the play. So the first day ended with 147 all out England. Second day, bright sunshine. In fact, all of yesterday was a very good day for playing cricket. Suited batting, as you would imagine. Warner and Harris went in early, but Harris got out quite cheaply for 3. But Warner and Labuschagne then took on a 150-plus partnership. Batted particularly well. Labuschagne eventually getting out for 73 or 4, I can't remember the exact score, and he was caught at backward point as the second wicket. Warner had so much luck, you would argue, getting out to a no ball from Stokes. In fact, Stokes bowled a dozen or so no balls throughout the innings. It was quite incredible, actually, that he was only able to realise that once the wicket fell, and they looked carefully, and then they noted it was a no ball, and Dave Warner had a life, bowled basically through his pads onto the stumps, but Ben Stokes did not get that decision his way, and Warner carried on. Warner went after lunch and was nicked it to second slip to Rory Burns, who took a regulation second slip catch, and unfortunately that led to, of course, another chance given to Dave Warner. Then shortly after, Hamid missed a certain run out when Warner not only fell over, but he lost his bat, and he could have walked up probably and knocked the bails off, but he didn't, and Warner had a third life. Eventually, Warner went for 94, caught it a short cover, and basically had enough luck. But anyway, the team itself were doing about 5 for 195 or 6 at one stage, looking like England had brought them back quite a bit, but then Alex Carey got out shortly after. Then Travis Head came in and scored a swashbuckling century, 112 not out, in the last session, a la Doug Walters. Doug Walters did it many times, and so that was really much Travis who did it out of the Doug Walters mode. And he was not out at the end of the day, 112 not out with Stark on 10. One other interesting aspect was, of course, that good old Cummins was dismissed by Root, caught down the leg side from his spin bowling. So that was a bit of a sad situation. At least Root's got something over Cummins. But yeah, they ended up 7 for 343 at the end of the day's play, a total of 196 runs in front, which is quite a large total to be in front by, only after 2 days of play. First day, of course, 147. Second day, in the end, 7 for 343. So Australia's got 343 runs in a day, which is pretty brisk batting. not quite to the 400 level, but 343 is a very admirable total. And I put them 196 in front. So Australia are certainly in a good position there, leading into day 3. 7 for 343 with, of course, Travis Head on 112 and Mitchell Stark on 10, with Hazelwood and Lyon to follow in whatever order. Probably maybe Lyon will go ahead of Hazelwood, and that would be the 11 then. And you would think that innings will finish sometime around, you would argue, around the before lunch, and England will be back into bat in their second innings, trying to run down a total of well over 200. You would argue before they can even get on the scoreboard, and that will be interesting. I mean, England could bat admirably and still get 50 to 100 runs in front and give Australia some sort of shake, but it's going to take some very good batting to get that total up around potentially 350 for that to be of any chance for Australia to have any need to go into bat again. And we'll only probably look at a person like Marcus Harris, who's failed the most as an opener, especially in Ashes games, and he's out of 233 batsmen, he's the 223rd worst. Well, he's only 223rd, so he's 10 off the bottom. Not exactly what you would call a good effort at all. Usman Khawaja was in the wings. Usman Khawaja was in the wings there, waiting to play. So you would argue that may be something Australia will consider. Maybe not for the second test. They'll probably give him another test in Adelaide. But then if they win, I mean, you don't normally change winning sides, which we know of. So really, Australia might keep Harris at least for the second test. If they win that, then they may keep him further than that. But it'll also help if he gets runs. And that's the issue that he hasn't got at this point in time. He has not scored runs. So he needs to score runs to be able to get back into this situation with his team. Yeah, today is a very sunny day here in Sydney. As I said, temperature's 18 degrees at about 9:41 in the morning. And it's quite a day indeed. We'll be able to see more of the play as it unfolds in about another 49 minutes or so. Is it 49? Yes, 49 minutes to go before the play starts again. That's if they keep to a 9:30 start, which I'm sure they will because they lost time after the first half. I think they're going to start earlier again today. So Australia are in a commanding position. You've got to take your hat off to Pat Cummins' captaincy so far. Everything's gone to plan. Admittedly, he hasn't had much pressure. Their bowling has done very well. I mean, Stark getting a wicket first to over was certainly something which, you'd have to agree was a pretty good thing to start. I'm going to have some banana bread. So, any thoughts on yesterday's match? Let me know. I think that Australia deservedly are in front and in front with gusto. I actually thought one stage they were 5-1, 5 or 6. If England had got through that stage and got, say, I think it was Carey and Carey then Cummins out quickly with Travis Head, you could have had Australia, all out for 220, 230, which would have given Australia a lead of around 80 or 90, which is still admirable. It's quite gettable. It could have been more of a game of it, but that didn't happen. And now Australia are a very competent 196 in front. They still have 3 wickets in hand, and they could easily increase it to 250 plus. Really, anything over 250, England may not even have a chance to put Australia in the bat again. They may lose by an innings in this match. That's what I would say would be likely. So that's the situation in the first test. Of course, the second test starts in Adelaide on the 16th of December. It's now the 10th of December here. It's 10th of December here in Australia. It's still the 9th in England, if you're watching. My England counterparts are not here, but their timing is not very good. So England, it's around, what time is it now? 11 at night last night in India. Hence, not many viewers here. About 5.5 hours behind. So 4:15 in the morning in India, which is certainly early. In Australia here, nice time. It's about 9:45. But yeah, this match has been of interest to most people around the world. Why? Because, well, first, there are another games being played. There is a game between Pakistan and Bangladesh that was played, but that's about it. It's up there. There's certainly a lot to worry about if you're the
Hi, Norman.
Hello. Can you hear? Oh, you got your eyes on cricket. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Now, can you hear me loud and clear now?
Even more loud and clear.
Louder now?
Yeah, louder now.
Really? So you didn't hear me clearly before?
It was clear before also, and it's clear now also.
Okay.
You know, YouTube.
I took a connection out. That's why. So you got my natural voice now. So before you just had the controlled voice.
Yeah, before it was actually, how can you say, overall sounded better. This sounds more natural.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just going to try and get a. Hang on a sec. I'm going to try and get a photo of that.
So where are you, in some parking lot or something? What are you doing? Some chauffeuring duties?
I was going to take the viewers on a bit of a tour at some stage.
I think better you put that mic on.
If I put my mic on, then I can't hear you at all.
Oh, okay.
I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
No, I can hear you, but there's a background noise coming. That's the difference between your previous and right now.
No, I know, but can you hear me clearly now?
Yeah, you're completely audible, Norman. Don't worry.
As I said, if I put my mic on, you'll only hear me.
Okay, no problem.
I won't hear you. I won't hear you. Put it that way. So anyway, all right. Abhijit Yadav is here. What do you think? Can England give some competition in this test? I doubt it. I mean, they're 196 runs behind now, and they've still got 7 wickets down. They've got 3 wickets left. They can easily get another 50-odd runs. Travis Head gets going, and then you'll see a situation where Australia will be, 250 in front.
And the team is the England team also looks like completely down and out also, Norman. Like they really need to talk. Maybe just this match honestly is a lost cause unless you see some kind of miracle batting by them in the second innings, which I'm really doubtful can happen. Maybe they can score 400, 450. That's what something. But then Australia can get those runs, 100, 115. That's I think is the best thing what England can do. But that's really the other extreme. But the team completely looks down and out.
For England to get 400 in the second innings, oh my God, that'll be fantastic. But I can't see them doing. I mean, this pitch has troubled Australia yesterday as well. Even though it was perfect sunshine, it did trouble Australia. They didn't play fluently at all. I mean, Dave Warner, how many times can you get out and be not out in a game? I mean, he's been given out 6 times on a no ball. Would you believe it, in his Test career?
And 6 times. 4 times he went to score a century, and he just missed out yesterday.
Yeah, but that's quite incredible. 6 times you've been given not out, given out, then given not out after, and then of course Rory Burns must be wanting to go and hide in a hole after dropping catches and getting out first ball. So they're asking. Anton Fernando's asking, what's the weather like? A bit of rain can help England. Well, it's going to be, again, a very similar day to yesterday, apparently, with the potential rain towards the end of the day. So they'll get at least 2 sessions in, if not more. And, that's clearly enough time probably for England to be all out, to be honest with you. I mean, Johnny Bairstow's not playing. That's a mistake. I think he's a good player. I mean, Ollie Pope didn't bat badly, but I'd have Bairstow in there up the order. I'd even have him. Potentially, I'd consider him as an opener. and not have, and you
Good,
couldn't.
good.
Well, wait and see what Rory Burns does in the second innings, but you could have Rory Burns, well, potentially out of the side. I mean, Hamid was solid. Johnny Bairstow can bat and bat well. He's done a lot of good performances for his country up the order, so no reason why I can't. Yes, I'm at the beach. I'm at Coogee Beach at the moment, which is great. I'll take you for a walk around.
Now, coming back to yesterday, when you say luck is not with you, that's really what was happening with the England team. Because forget not just the out, but there were so many like balls like just missing the edges or not carrying through. There were really so many in that. So it was really luck was just not favoring them, and it was favoring a lot the Australians. I don't know what kind of some kind of voodoo magic that you did, Norman.
Well, I didn't use my crystal ball, put it that way, so that wasn't. You can't blame me for that. But let's be honest. I mean, Australia, you might say, have had the luck, but really, luck follows those that play well. Let's be honest. I mean, Australia did play well. They went through a very difficult stage early on. They could have easily have lost many wickets, couldn't they? They could have been through. Labuschagne was almost caught at first slip by Root. The batting of Warner was marred with lots of outs. But don't forget, Steve Smith went cheaply. Cameron Green went very cheaply. There was certainly a lot of wickets falling, but ultimately,
Cameron Green's wicket was very like I've seen him like I thought initially I thought they were showing a replay from some of his previous dismissal where he leaves the ball and gets bowled, but so it's like why he has no idea of his off stump or what.
well, in Western Australia, he can let the ball go like that, and it generally pops over the stumps. I think that's what he was judging it as. And the man's 6'8", so his judgment may be a little bit off skew sometimes. But he's young. He's 22. Look, they reckon he's going to be an absolute superstar. So he's playing for Australia at 22. That in itself tells you how good he is. And Australia think enough of him. They think enough of Travis Head as well. I didn't rate him at all, but he's proven in that match. But now Travis Head has to continue doing that. He can't just do it one match. He has to continue doing that. Doug Walters. I'm not sure if you've seen any tapes of Doug Walters, Baram. Have you seen tapes of Doug Walters?
No.
Go and look at Doug Walters. He did what Travis Head did regularly. He scored centuries in a session, morning session, lunchtime session, and tea session. All three, he scored centuries in a session. The way Travis Head batted, he batted out of his skin. He batted amazingly well, but that's what Doug Walters did regularly. That's how good a player he was. Back in the day when you just didn't do that. He would score a run of ball back in a time when it wasn't common to do that. Quite incredible. He was an amazing player. He used to come in with cigarettes, have a beer, play cards, walk out there and bat. And I reckon there's a lot to be said about being relaxed and carefree in your mind. Adam Gilchrist could do it. Travis Head did it yesterday. Doug Waters did it all the time. I think there's a lot to be said about that, is to relax your mind. Come up close to the screen. I want to see your shirt and your hat. You look like you're playing for Australia there.
Why? By the way, what happened to the other Cameron, Norman?
The other one?
The other Cameron.
Which one?
Bancroft. Cameron Bancroft.
Oh,
right.
Look, he had a mental disintegration after he was involved with sandpaper, to be really honest with you. He was the scapegoat as well. He came back and didn't regain his form. He's batted okay. I think he scored a century not long ago, but generally his form's well down, and he's just out of the equation. He's the biggest scapegoat of that whole sandpaper gate. I actually think that Warner Smith are upset with him because he was unable to cover the sandpaper in his pocket. He didn't get rid of it. I mean, it might sound funny, but I bet you Warner would have said, "You idiot! You've blown it. We had it covered. What did you do?" I reckon there was that kind of response, and definitely.
What they were expecting him that he swallowed it or something.
Who knows? Or put up his backside or something. But that's what they probably would have liked him to do, but he blew it. So, realistically, he's shot mentally, and he's a scapegoat. And now, there's something sinister about Smith and Warner. I've got this horrible feeling that they've been involved somewhere along the line with Tim Payne. I don't know. But there's something very sinister with the way that Tim Payne went out. I don't know. We see Justin Langer going to see Tim Payne and saying sorry. I didn't see much evidence of Warner and Langer, not Warner and Smith going over to Payne and consoling him. Again, I repeat, Dave Warner's wife, Candace, publicly has been bagging Tim Payne and why he was even back at the side, which he didn't do. Bagging why his husband's not done his time and is back as captain. Something very strange about it. If my wife said that and I was a player for Australia, I'd tell her not to say that because that's really out of line, unnecessary, and it's just attention seeking.
None of our business, because she's not even a woman cricketer, she's a cricketer's wife. If she was a woman cricketer still, okay, as a cricket you're doing good.
I don't think Alyssa Healy would have said anything for Mitchell Starc either.
Yeah.
Although Alyssa Healy has stood up for Mitchell Starc. But the way in which Candace said it was really wrong because she talked about, firstly, she talked about Tim Payne. She had no place to be talking about Tim Payne at all. She should never have said a word about him. It's none of her business, not her place. But in terms of her husband, she can defend him. But overall, it was just a complete and utter, silly thing for her to do. She should not have said a word, quite frankly, and that's really wrong. Anyway, that's one thing. The reality is Tim Payne's gone. Tim Payne's not going to come back. Alex Carey has kept
coming with Tim Payne. Are you happy with Pat Cummins' captaincy? You had a lot of doubts.
It's been. If I'm being honest with you, so far it's been pretty easy. He hasn't been really pressured. I mean, his team bowled well. In particular, Pat Cummins himself has taken his attitude to captaincy was that I'm going to get the wickets myself, and he did. He took 5 wickets. He bowled after the 5th over. United Extra Time says she was an Iron Woman. Yeah, she was an Iron Woman. She was involved with Surf Life Saving and Iron Woman contest. So what? Doesn't mean she can talk about other cricket players. Has Australia Golden Era returned?
She was an Iron Woman referring to who? David Warner's wife.
Yeah, she was Iron Woman. She was involved with she's a very fit woman, and she is involved with Iron Woman means swimming, surfing, running, that type of contest, which we've very famously got in Australia.
Like pentathlon, heptathlon, something like that.
Something like that. But the reality is that's not the point. It's got nothing to do with her being even if she did play cricket, it doesn't matter. She shouldn't be talking about other people in the team, about whether they should be the morals of a player in a team. For God's sake, she's the last person who should be talking about morals of a cricket team. I mean, really, it's not her place to be talking about it. Anyway, I won't go down that track. The thing is, though, Australia have done very well. They're 7 for 343. They're 196 runs in front. Really, we're looking at a situation where Australia should win and should win well. They probably will win by innings. I mean,
what is the thing? Like England, what I understand, they bowled. They had a very bad over rate yesterday. Are they being docked points? Like how does the docking of points occur for? Does it happen after the match, or is it for a day? Is it for the 5 days? You have any idea that?
It's usually done in totality at the end of the match. To be honest.
Okay.
But they may have been informed that they'll be penalised, but it hasn't been made public at this stage. It was only 6 overs below a standard day, even though it was a longer day.
No, they were supposed to bowl 98 overs, Norman.
Well, okay, that's true because it was a longer day. I'm just trying to think. There was no delays at all, were there, in the whole day?
Yeah, nothing at all. And they ended up bowling just 84 out of 98. So that's 8 and 14 overs short.
Well, I mean, look, that's the least of England's worries. If there's a fine, they'll simply pay it. If they're docked some point system, they'll just pay it. That's not their problem, really. So yeah, the Vernon Anna Jingle wants to see the Vernon boys: Chris Vernon, Reggie Vernon, and even David Graveney is another one.
Munchie.
Munchie. It's about midnight there, and they're not good sleepers. Those guys. They'll come on probably towards the end of the series or the end of this test. Munchie was here on the first day. He was here the first day. So was David Graveney. They've been here.
No, but anyway, this first match, Norman, we all thought that Australia would win. So it's the next match. So
Okay, I still maintain that England are going to come back very hard.
Yeah.
I think in the second test, Broad and Anderson will play a role. Depending on how Mark Wood's fitness is, he may be there too. But in Adelaide, the day-night conditions starting around 2:30 in the afternoon right through to the evening, they're suited for people like Anderson and Broad. And I think David Warner had a sigh of relief not having to play against Broad in this test match because he has his number. So really, the Adelaide test, I believe England will come back very, very strongly. In fact, I would say that England will win that test match, even though they've lost here in Brisbane. Don't forget what happened with India. India all out for 36. They still won the series, didn't they? So we can't discount England at this early stage. They've had a bad start, which I almost think they expected to have. Australia are always going to try and bounce back at the GABBA because they got beaten by India in the GABBA early in the year. They were very motivated to do that. So I think Australia will win this test, but I think England will win the second test. And then Melbourne and Sydney will suit really England more than Australia. I predict England will win one of those tests, probably Melbourne, and Sydney will win. Well, Sydney will win by Australia. It'll be 2-2 going into Hobart. Now, Hobart hasn't been announced yet, but Hobart to me is the ground that they'll probably go to. And that's definitively a ground that will suit England. Much cooler, much lusher, much more like a New Zealand or no. Some guys just randomly walked up and asking for a cigarette. That was crazy.
You look like that, Norman.
Did you see?
No. I don't see him, but I said you look like you're selling cigarettes.
No, it was quite. I wish I would have shown that on camera. It was quite funny. He's walked up to me asking for a cigarette. I said, "Mate, you can have some of my banana bread. That's got all." But I don't smoke. Yeah. So Chris Vernon's been very quiet. So is Reg. Reg is working somewhere up the coast. He's unavailable. Although he could certainly make the program when he was in Spain and Greece and things like that. He was happily on the show. But now that England aren't going that well, he can't be found. That's interesting.
No, they'll come. They'll come, Norman. Don't worry.
Yeah,
come when the time is right.
So the game's starting half an hour earlier today, if I'm not wrong, correct? Did they say that?
Yeah, it depends on how many overs they lost. So yesterday also they lost overs. So logically they should start earlier.
But we're based on the first day's play, not the second day's play. The first day's play, they lost a substantial amount. Someone's calling you sexy.
Daniel Mansoor is calling me sexy. I don't know what this is.
Do you know him?
No.
Daniel Mansoor. I don't think that's his real name.
I'm wearing eyes on cricket merchandise.
I reckon it might be Chris Vernon under a different name. We'll get to the bottom of that. We can't have him doing that, can we? So we're at Coogee Beach. I'll probably show a bit of Coogee Beach in a minute. We'll go for a bit of a walk around here.
So okay, Norman, I'll make a move. Maybe you can take the fans around and show them the Coogee Beach.
All right, I will. So go and have a chat to your boyfriend.
I've never been to Coogee Beach.
Okay. Hat looks good. Just take the hat off and make it go close to the camera. Show people a close-up view of the lower. There you go. Very good.
Okay. Bye-bye, everyone.
Right,
take care.
Thanks, bro. Thank you. I can put the microphone back in because we've got a fuller view. We need to have that microphone there because I think the volume's a bit low. Let's see. Tell me. Now, please confirm that you guys can hear me now. Can you hear me? Whoever's online, the United Extra Time, can you tell me England could lose World Test Champions points because of overrate? That is possible. They certainly can. Someone write a comment to say that you can hear me loud and clear, please, if you can. All right. All right. Let me know, guys, that you can hear me loud and clear. Anton Fernando, can you tell me if you can hear me clearly? or Daniel or United Extra, one of you people online, tell me whether you can hear me loud and clear. Look, again, back to the series. You can see below, live from Coogee Beach with eyes on cricket on coast. England are all out for 147 and Australia are 7 for 343. Monu Bai, your name that's me. And you're not Extra said yes. You're saying yes. That means yes. I'm clear. Okay, so that's live from Coogee Beach with England all out for 147 on day one. Day two, Australia scored 7 for 343. Thanks largely to Travis Head with his 112, Warner with his 94, and Marnus Labuschagne with his 73-74. So very, very good performances indeed. So but 3 of their batsmen got close to 300 runs. So it wasn't exactly a big contribution from the rest. That's a little bit concerning, you would argue. A little bit concerning indeed. But yeah, we'll wait and see what happens there. So the game starts in about, I think it's about half an hour, if I'm not wrong. Let's have a look here. I love licking coffee from it. All right, let's have a look here. There was a disbelief on Marnus Labuschagne getting out. I don't know what the disbelief was. He played a bad shot. Can't be too much disbelief if you played a bad shot. Isn't that true? So really, so happy for Trav. Brilliant counter-attacking knock. One side was under pressure. It certainly was. There was no doubt about that. There was certainly a worthy of noting that is. And we've got, a great day ahead. Australia are very likely to win this match. We all know that. Are you near the Gabba? No, I'm closer to the Gabba than you probably are, Anton. Where are you, Anton? I'm from. I'm actually in Sydney, at Coogee Beach in Sydney, Australia. We are not allowed to go into Queensland unless we quarantine for 2 weeks, and that ends, would you believe, on the 13th, which is too late to go to the test. But I will be in Adelaide, and I will be at the rest of the series live. So that'll be what I'll be doing, guys. But today I'm at Coogee Beach, and I'll show you that in a minute, a bit more about the beach itself, the background of the beach and the locations. A great spot. So Boria Majunda has put that we met earlier today and decided to shelve celebration plans associated with our launch in light of the tragedy that happened. I don't know what this tragedy is. So there's discussion about Jadasia's out for 4 months. Shubman Gill hasn't recovered from his shin injury, and as it's resurfaced again. So we met earlier today and decided to shelve celebration plans associated with our launch in light of the tragedy that happened yesterday. Having said that, with Rohit Sharma appointed, which is important followers of the sport to hear from him. We'll just premiere. Okay. I need to ask what tragedy. I don't know what tragedy have you got? Well, what tragedy? I needed to hear what happened. So there'll be an early start in Brisbane again, 11:30 p.m. UK time, which is effectively 10:30 Australian time, it's actually 9:30 Brisbane time, 10:30 here. So in a matter of another 23 minutes, we'll start the match again. Beautiful part of the world, Sydney Beach, the best in the world. They are. So Anton Fernand, cool. I'm in Canada at 6 p.m. here. 6 p.m. I'm watching from India at 4:30. I'm Asim Sheikh is there. 4:34 a.m. Canada at 6 p.m. the previous day. I'm assuming, yeah. Wow. Pleasant time to be watching. Yes, it is. It certainly is a day where weather's great. I'll be taking you out. So I'm just running on this whole just to see what's happening regarding. All I'm getting is Kim Kardashian West is not really what I want to say. So we're in Sydney. I'll tell you a bit about. I don't know whether you can see that. Can you see where I am now? That's where I am, guys. I'm not sure if you can see all that. But that's where I am. I'm in Sydney Harbour. I'll go and have a bit of a walk later. So let's look here. So, Norman, reading a post on Facebook by Cricket Australia and George Bailey, they're looking at Usman for the rest because they're unhappy with Harris. Well, I'm sure they're going to be giving Harris one more chance, probably the second test. My favourite player, well, in the world, I mean, Kohli, Root, Smith. Used to be Warner. I'm not happy with Warner as much as I used to be. You know, players like Baba Azam, I really like them all. Pat Cummins is pretty damn good too. Okay, so we'll talk more as we get closer to the match. But we've got a lot of issues around the whole what's happened with players and the sexting gate. We've had the racism problem with Root and his team there at Yorkshire. They're imploding. That's the word, that they're basically imploding. You know, it's quite a David Graveney talked about that yesterday. There's a lot of issues around that. But look back in the history of cricket, some magnificent stories. There really have been. I mean, the John Bradman era. I've just asked someone to come on. Everybody's working. Everybody's got jobs to go to. So, Daniel Mansour, so you're from Pakistan. Follow your channel. Thank you. Yeah, United half past 9 Queensland time. So, yeah, we've got another 20 minutes before the match starts. So, how many test matches will be played at your nearby place? Well, there's going to be a test match here in Sydney on January the 5th to the 9th, 5, 6, 7, 8, 5th to the 9th of January. That's the 4th test. We're also going to have I'm going to be in Melbourne to watch the 3rd test, which will be the 26th of December up to the 30th. The 2nd test match is in Adelaide. I'm going to that, which will be the 16th of next week. So I'll be there for the next 3. And then the 4th match from now, which will be the 5th test, which will be likely to be Hobart. I'm hoping to get there. That'll be a great match to watch in January. That'll be a fantastic match to be there for. So at the moment, that's the case. There is an outside possibility that Sydney could get the 5th test, or for that matter, Melbourne. And of course, that would be great for both states. It could even be day-nighters. But I think Hobart will win out if it comes to a vote. Can you please tell who is the best test captain at the moment in the world? Okay. Kane Williamson's right up there. Virat Kohli's record stands very tall. Australia, we haven't even really worked out who's our captain until now with Pat Cummins, so I won't go into that. Really, Root's pretty admirable as well. So, in a general sense, really, it's Kohli, Williamson, and Root. Probably those 3 would have to stand out. The rest aren't really even cutting it. I also play against Australia. I'm not sure. I don't know what you're talking about there, but that's all right. Okay, so the match starts in about another 19 minutes. I'll have a look. We'll get to see that broadcast very shortly. People there that are walking past wondering what the hell I'm doing, but that's all right. I'm accepting that. Why can't they give the 5th test to Melbourne looking at the capacity? Well, that would be the most logical in terms of a financial benefit, absolutely. But don't forget, Hobart, we're meant to host the test between Australia and Afghanistan only about a month or less than a month ago. I meant to host that match, which was, I think, first off postponed, then cancelled. The reality is that would have been played in Hobart with Tim Payne as captain. Great crescendo to have a test match in. The first test match involving Afghanistan in Hobart under the captaincy of Tim Payne, being from Hobart, from Tasmania. Would have been good, but that didn't happen. So a bit of sentiment towards having that 5th test in Hobart anyway. You'd hope that Tim Payne can actually attend that, but it would have been good if he was captain for that match. Pat Cummins has done a great job so far. Everything's gone to plan. He hasn't been really tested as such, so we'll have to wait and see how far he is from it needs to be tested so we can really then judge. Tested by way of a loss or a difficult match to see whether, in fact, he's of the right stuff to captain, and that's what we need to be wary of, for sure. So we've got some 17 minutes before there. I do the last bit of bread here. There's a bit of banana bread. We're still loud and clear, guys. Do they have ferry services to Tasmania from the mainland? Yep, they certainly do. They do. Honestly, it's not a quick trip. It's not a quick trip. It's an overnight stay, I think, on the boat to Tassie. Nice trip, though. Let's see. So we'll be at the next test in Adelaide, which will be starting December 16th. Not very far away. Let's look here. Okay, what are we talking about here? Interesting to see Ponting say in podcast he would take the Australian job, and only thing holding back his days on the road with a young family while JL's family are growing up. Well, that's one reason. Dabioti Mukherjee says, this looks like the weakest English bowling attack ever stepped foot in Australia. They should have played Anderson. Well, Ben Stokes I can see Ben Stokes currently warming up, so he looks like you can see him there, he looks like he's fit enough to play, which is a good sign for England. Fascinating. Going the Cricket is one of my next Ashes series. One of your goals would be the 2024 in Australia. Well, there's an Ashes series in 23, actually in England. 21 is here, so it'll be 23 in England. I'm going to that. That'll be it's virtually 18 months away from today. That'll be an interesting one indeed. Stokes is jostling with his knee. There's no bandages on his knee. Ben Stokes has been cleared. His medical has been cleared, so that's a good sign. I'm seeing this Ashes series 5-0 for us. Well done, England, weak from easily. Ben looks really unfit yesterday. Well, he does, but he looks pretty okay now. He seems to be walking okay. I don't think it's going to be 5-0. I think it's going to be 2-2 with a decide in the fifth. That's my honest opinion. So am I. I hope normally you're hopefully about that he's fit. I think it'll be 2-2. I think we're going to lose next test. I think with Anderson brought in, would fit, and if Stokes is okay, you could be seeing a very good victory in England because of the day-night nature of the pink ball. A lot of reasons for it to be. Ben Stokes bowling accurate, just hit the stumps with his delivery there. So we've got people here currently. Got some young blokes there that are cricket mad, I think. G'day, are you into cricket?
Yeah.
Do you play for Randwick?
No, I stopped playing cricket last year.
You want to come in for a second? I'm actually live on a cricket show.
Oh, yeah.
What's your name?
I'm Edward Murray.
Edward Murray. Okay, I'm on a show throughout the world. Can you? I don't know whether you can come in. How are you? So what do you reckon? We've got Australia playing the third day of the test. Who's going to win?
Australia by sounds, they'll probably declare, I reckon, around lunch or a bit later, they can bowl England all out in one innings.
You reckon?
Yeah, I reckon.
Well, they're 196 in front, aren't they? So there's every chance.
Yeah, they'll probably try to get a total that England can't get in the next inning, so they don't have to bat again.
Yeah, very much so. So you played a bit of cricket, did you?
Yeah.
What was your play? Come more in front of the camera.
I was a medium pace bowler.
A medium pace bowler. Okay,
Yeah.
so kind of Chris Wokes like.
Yeah.
All right. Well, he wasn't very successful, was he?
Yeah, not yesterday.
No. So this show here is called Eyes on Cricket with Norman Kochnik. I actually have about 20-odd thousand subscribers. I go around the world. I normally have a lot of good cricket, so you have to go and subscribe to the channel after that.
Yeah.
You can see it on my hat. Can you see my hat?
Yeah.
Eyes, if you want Eyes on Cricket with Norman, you're going to be on it.
Yeah.
So you can see yourself recorded. I'm actually live as we speak. I've been on live for about 45 minutes talking as well. So again, the score is 7 for 343. Travis Head got 100.
Yeah.
Not out. What do you reckon about Usman Khawaja? Do you think he should be in the side?
It could have gone either way, but I guess Head's proved his spot in the squad. Like he's kind of cemented it for a little bit longer.
Okay, that's Travis Head. What about Marcus Harris? He's ranked the 223rd. Like, out of 233 openers, he's ranked 223rd.
Yeah, I know. That was a bit dodge. I don't know why I was in the squad.
So do you think? Well, I mean, what about Usman Khawaja?
Khawaja could have opened
easily.
Could have opened, yeah, for sure.
I think they should give him. And it's a pity because don't forget, Usman Khawaja was the captain of the Queensland Sheffield Shield last year, the one.
Yeah, I know. He's in decent form as well. So I would have thought they'll give him a shot, but I don't know. Harris has been given a fair amount of goes as well. Hasn't really performed as an opener.
Hasn't scored a century.
Yeah, I know.
It's not right, is it? I mean, you shouldn't be in that side that long and keep being given a go. I don't care how many games you play and you score centuries at state level. You've got to play that and do that for Australia.
Yeah.
Show us your shirt. Show us the name of the team that you've got.
Randwick Peterson.
Come in, or can you? Yeah, there we go. Yep, Randwick Peterson. See that guy's Randwick Peterson Cricket Club. That's the club of who plays for that club.
David Warner used to play for it.
Come on.
David Warner played for it.
Dave Warner, he played. He's playing for it. He's playing. Yeah. So Dave Warner, Usman Khawaja used to play for that as well. Simon Kadich, Mike Whitney's the president. I've actually interviewed him on my show. Good mates of mine. Bill Anderson was there. He's not there anymore, is he?
Nah.
They've got another. I think it's what's his name? Horry is his name. So there you go. You're about to go, eh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Edward, what's your last name again?
Murray.
Edward Murray. You watch this, all right?
Yeah.
Eyes on Cricket with Norman. Google it now. All right. Thanks, guys. So, Eyes on Cricket with Norman. All right, there we go. We've just put Edward in there just out of the blue. Played for Randwick Peterson, which is the same club that both Warner's playing for now. Khawaja played for previously before he went to Queensland, and Simon Kadich. They've had, I think Daniel Sams is also playing for them. Mike Whitney is the president. He played for Australia. Bill Anderson, who was a more rugby league coach, but also the cricket coach. I think there's quite a few other players that played for that team, but yeah, it's been pretty good having him on there. It's a pretty impressive young gentleman. Just happened to be walking past here. You get it all in Coogee, that's for sure. You certainly do. So, hopefully, at least one Ashes test I see in England. The 2023 was United Extra Time. Met up with me, Chris Vernon, Reg Vernon, Marcus Lawrence, which is Munchie, David Graveney, the former chairman of selectors. Quite a few of us there. They're showing Travis Head at the moment in his century. He was so pumped up. It wasn't funny. He was in a mean mood, the old Travis Head. So that young man looks like a future Shane Watson there. He's a young cricketer. There you go. With a few others. There's a lot to be said about that whole situation there as well. So the weather looks good yet again in Brisbane. It looks like there's some mild clouds. We've got Matt de Groot talking about the Ashes. The odds of the match, Australia are $1.05 now. England are $26 to win the test. So that's looking probably very unlikely. But Australia are $1.05. They're almost certain. Their draw's $13. So even that's not going to play a factor. The weather's too damn good at the moment there. And I think we're going to see, certainly a full day's, well, virtually a full day's play again. Australia will probably get 250 plus lead. You would imagine with their last 3 wickets to fall. Then you'll have a situation where Australia will bowl and bowl well, have the tails up, and actually do very well indeed. And you might see a distinctive Australian innings victory. Well, innings, you would think that's possible, but we'll wait and see whether that's the way it will turn out. So you agree with him that they'll declare at lunch and bowl? Well, I don't think they'll need to declare it all. They'll be probably all out. Let's be honest. I think 3 wickets to go down. I think you'll find that you know, Hazelwood and Lyon will give it a red hot crack. Travis said, well, if he's in the same mood he was like yesterday, anything could happen. But he's certainly got his century. He's not out 112. Certainly commendable indeed. So, yeah. So we've got another 7 minutes before the game starts for the third day's play at the GABBA, Woolloongabba, the Aboriginal name Woolloongabba, which is GABBA is what that ground is actually called. Robert, bro, where are you from? Well, I think Robert's I'm assuming he's somewhere in Australia, or is he English? We'll find out. You've asked the question. Well, I'm definitely going to the 2023 Ashes in England, and I'll be here for the Adelaide Test, which is following this on the 16th of December in Adelaide itself. Nanda Kishore Kurapala's here. Hi, how are you? Yeah, so we'll be in Adelaide and then Melbourne at MCG for the Boxing Day Test. This is the third test, and then the fourth test is here in Sydney. I'll be here for that, of course. I'm from Sydney, and then good morning. So good morning to you all. It's still morning here. Certainly is morning in India. It's now fast approaching 5 a.m., isn't it? Usually by 6 a.m. I have a bit of people wake up. I'm from Queensland. I'm near a town called Roma in a town called Taroom. So NRL fans would know it as Stuart Kelly, former Eels Broncos star, hometown. There we are. So Roma. I've been to Roma. That's also where what's his name? Arthur Beetson's from. How are you? Hope you're fine. Watching from India at 4:54 a.m. Whereabouts in India are you from? Amaquizm Sheikh? Whereabouts are you exactly from? What part of India? 4:54 a.m. Well, that's a good time of the day, so we'll be routed today by itself. We'll be rooted today itself. Who? The team. I mean, in terms of performance, yes. Anyway, we seem to be going along quite well. I've got the radio on. I've got the whole thing going here. We've got 5 minutes before the game starts. During the match a little bit, I'll take you around a bit of a tour of the Coogee area. I'm from Azamgarh, sir. Azamgarh. Okay. Who are we playing in the next year's Test series? No, next year's Test series. I think it's Pakistan and the West Indies. I think coming out, as far as I'm aware. Pretty sure it's Pakistan and West Indies here in Australia. That is, and then yeah, I think that's who we're playing. Pakistan, West Indies. Yeah, due for another Indian series here, but I think I might be a few years off. But yeah, we've got the World Cup, of course, here in between. The World Cup will happen in September, I think October, November. The T20 World Cup, which has just happened. Only Beetson and Lockyer are both from Roma. That's right. Good old Arthur Beetson played for the Roosters down here, and Lockyer played for the Broncos. Yeah, so the reality is that we've got a lot of cricket coming up. We've got a Women's World Cup in I think it's April next year. Before that, we've got a series of matches that are all happening in New Zealand for some reason. Australia's going to New Zealand. Australia's also going to Pakistan in March, April. IPL's on in April next year, April, May. Then we move into the English summer, and then we go on to the World Cup here in Australia in late 2022, and then Pakistan, West Indies, I'm pretty sure, coming at 22-23. And then middle of summer of England in 23, the Ashes are on again in England, which I went to last time in 19, and I went to in 15, and I went to in 13. 13, 15, 19, I've been to Ashes tours in England. Played cricket on 2 of them, in fact 3 of them. We'll be playing in 23 yet again. And there'll be another big series, and probably Stokes will be still around at that time. You would expect Root would probably still be there too. It's only 18 months away. Ben Stokes is so crucial to this England side. He's got the nick to seconds there. Rory Burns dropped that. Oh, Jesus. Awful. And then the run out, he drops his bat. He was out of the crease. You could have easily have seen Hamid just walk up to the stumps. Do they play Test in Darwin? They've played a Test series against Bangladesh at one stage. and it may have been Zimbabwe up there as well. Even Sri Lanka may have had a Guernsey. So they've played test matches up there, and even Northern Queensland. Like, I'll be going if there's a GABBA match to the World Cup. I'm sure there will be a GABBA match. And there's Labuschagne's dismissal. Doesn't know how he got out. Well, he just played a bad shot. And then a very rare moment to have Steve Smith go cheaply in a test match in the Ashes Test Series against England. Caught it well, and Warner played this bizarre sort of lofted shot, popped it to a short cover. And then Cameron Green decided to leave his stumps alone and shoulder arms and got bowled. Just clipped the bail, mind you, and Robinson was cocked over. He was on a hat trick at that stage. And then Alex Carey looked solid, but he got out, caught at short mid wicket to a short ball. Maybe Hobart you'll get to. Okay. And then Travis said, cut loose. Played some pretty good shots. And Ben Stokes didn't look very happy. Travis Head scores his 100. He's 112 not out. And Mitchell Stark's particularly happy there as well. He's not out 10. Anton there had one off versus Bangladesh, I think, a few years ago. That's correct. And I think there was a Zimbabwe match too, I think. But Bangladesh definitely, Australia played up in Darwin. You're right. Poor team selection by England. Well, they should have had, in the team, they should definitely have had Anderson or Broad, probably Broad in this test, in place of Leach, who didn't bowl well at all. So they're walking out the bat, Head's walking out the bat as we speak. Head's facing up, it looks like. Stark, we're going to see some fireworks, you would imagine, early here. You would imagine we'll see some fireworks early. Travis has got nothing to lose. He's on 112 not out. He's flying, to be honest. Again, the ground, there's a few clouds about today. Yesterday it was more of an absolute clear sky for most of the first two sessions. Into the third, cloud started to come. But today the clouds are there a little bit earlier, but by no means full clouds. It's still 80 to 90% clear skies, so we're in for another couple of sessions at the very least. Could well be a full day yet again. So 7 for 343. Head's not out 112 after 95 deliveries, so he scored more than a run a ball. Stark's 10 off 24. Chris Wokes is coming in. He's bowled 20 overs yesterday, 7 maidens. Oh, it's not bad. 1 for 56. I think he took Warner's wicket, didn't he? 7 for 343 was after 84 overs. So they did bowl some 14 overs short yesterday. It was supposed to be 98. So Head's facing here. First ball goes to ground and goes through the slips though, but does go to ground. You'd think psychologically Australia would like to get 400 and therefore be 250 in front. Okay, today is my exam. Please with me some wishing. Okay, good luck. I'm Kwasim Sheikh. I hope it'll go well on your test today. What does it test? Don't give me my number out to strangers, only people I know. So that's fair enough, right? We'll leave it at that. So Head's already got a single. Score's now 7 for 344. Yeah, so England are in enough trouble. Any lead more than 250 will be very tough for England early. This lead is enough as it stands now. We'll wait and see how we go. Mark Wood looks a little bit glum there. Glib. Stark's letting balls go. What is he, an opening batsman now? He should be powering away. Stark's capable of going big. Hazel can have a go. What was your view on when Woods hit in the head like the ball? Well, that was off his glove onto his head. it wasn't a full hit, thankfully. It startled him, but it didn't hurt him. He's obviously fine. He's batting today, and on he goes. So I don't think there's any issue there with Travis Head. Stark is letting balls go like he's opening the batting. I want to see him go for it from ball go. They're 197 in front now. I'll be lobbing a half volley to him and let him have a crack at it. There's Robert Malou. He's hitting it. The hit his glove onto his. It was a misguided full toss. There was nothing no malice in the delivery, so no problem. Stark's finally gone for one. He's going to get it probably 2 there. The lead will go to 199. The score will be 7 for 346. Actually, they've run 3, so it's 347. So they're actually 200 in front now. So 4's come off the over so far. Wokes has got 1 for 60 in his 21st over. Travis had to face the last ball of Wokes is over here. He's pushed it away to mid-off, and that's the over. And the score then is, after that man overs, we have a score of 7 for 347. Let's just update the scoreboard here. $347. That's a 200-run lead, guys. 200 runs. It's what's Starker's highest score? He certainly has got a 50-odd. I can't remember exactly what's his top score offhand, but he certainly has got a 50. 99 is Stark's highest. There you go. I wasn't sure that it was. I know that Ashton Agar got a 99 and was out, but I didn't know. There we go. Stark's highest was 99. Fastest test hundreds. Gilchrist 57. Jessup for England 76. Head 85. Darling 85. Both of them 86. So it's the third highest. But Adam Gilchrist 57 ball 100 is the best, and that's the benchmark, isn't it? Certainly is the benchmark. But he third highest. Both of them 86 balls. Pretty impressive. There it is there. Yeah, so Gilchrist took 57 balls to get his 100 in 2006-7 at the Wackham. Jessup for England got 76 balls in the Oval in 1902. Head, of course, GABBA here. SCG Joe Darling in 1897. Long time ago. And then both of them 86 deliveries. Very, 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 very. Starks is taking his time here. What is he going to try and score a century here or something? Anton Fernando, where are you from? Are you Indian or are you, with the name Anton Fernando, you could well be Sri Lankan. Are you from Sri Lanka? Ooh. Robinson's gone straight through Stark with a magnetism. Originally from Sri Lanka, now in Canada. As you said, you're in Canada, but you're from Sri Lanka. After the Katagara, Sinhalese Katagara. Whereabouts Anton Fernando in Sri Lanka? In Colombo, Kandy, Gaul, Bumbleapity are there in Colombo 5. Tell me. Pisuda, Anton Fernando. Pisu. Ayo, Colombo. Colombo 7. Bumbleapidia, Ratnapidia, Kote, Pitakote, whereabouts? Burleskimo, Nugegoda, Delkunda. Bumblepidio went to school there at St. Peter's College. You're a St. Peterite. Ayo, and there, Pawane. A Peterite. Ayo. I always was involved with the Alcott, the Buddhist schools like Nalanda College or what was the one there? Nalanda? What was the school that Arjuna went to? Ayo. What school did what was the Catholic the Buddhist school? Ananda College and Nalanda. Ananda and Nalanda, correct. Good old the Ranachunga family went to Ananda College, and I was married to a Sri Lankan, Anton Fernando, for 15 years. 15 years to a Sri Lankan. Went to Colombo, went to Sri Lanka 20 odd times over 20 years. I managed female cricketers from Sri Lanka, such as Sripali Rurakoti and Lakshya Silva. They're all Sri Lankan. So Robinson's bowling still, and there's maybe the one run added. Heads on 113, Starks on 14. Okay. Roy Dose went to St. Peter's, yep. So we're 7 for edits. 7 for 348. Seven for 348. So the 201 in front of Australia, it's way too many already, I would think. I was married to a woman who was very close to Arjuna when she was a kid, and I got to know them all. Arjuna came to my stepdaughter's wedding in Australia on the Gold Coast, both in near Woolgoolga, and it was 2 weddings, had one in Gold Coast, one in Woolgoolga. Arjuna was the special guest. Anton Fernando, you're talking to a Horasuddha. I'm a Horasuddha. Ashtonagar is also half Sri Lankan, correct? I'm a Horasuddha. What that means, Anton? Tell me what a Horasuddha means. Well, don't laugh, Anton Fernando. Tell me what a Horasuddha means. Double pisu. You're, Anton, I think you'll be double pisu. Heads just pull the ball with great ease to the boundary. A cunning white man, or is it more a Horasuddha means a cunning white man, a bad white man? I thought it was a white man pretending to be a Sri Lankan pretending to be a white man. Travis said, looks like he's having a field day out there. He's 118 not out. Scores jumped to 7 for 354. Okay. Seven for 354. Yeah, it depends on the context of use, correct. Another 4. Starks is still 4 there. Rampaging ahead now. They're 211 in front now. Australia may have to declare because they might be just going along too well here. They're well in the front. A bit disturbing, actually. The ease in which, obviously, batting's getting much, much easier now, which does mean England will probably have a slightly easier run for it as well. Why is it not working? Oh, that's better. So I was looking at the scoreboard here. Yeah, it depends on the context of the cap. Best run scorer in the SH will be Marnus Lovish on my prediction. Could be. Seven for 358 is the score. It's 7 for 358. That means Australia are now some 211 in front. Whopping. Although the conditions do seem to be a little bit more favourable at the moment. I would agree with that. It's getting a bit windy here. There's a few clouds appearing, maybe a bit of a storm here at some stage. There's planes going overhead. Showing some of the grounds around the GABBA. Guys in the audience with some horrible pink dresses. Did you see that? Horrible pink dresses. Oh, God. What's going on there? Oh, they got pink shorts and something really despicable about that outfit. I'm not sure who they're trying to be. Ollie Robinson's bowled well for his 3 for 50. He's getting a fair bit of wobble there from the delivery as well. So, show in front view. So, I show my front view in front of me. I will. Head will reach 150. Our best run scorer in the Ashes. Bubba Shane. I don't know. I think. Well, Trevor said it'll be interesting to see who actually does. So, if you want to look at the front view, can you look at the front view there? Can you see? See beach there, can you, guys? Can you see beach? Tell me whether you can see the beach. That's my view. So I'm Queen Sheikh. Did you see the view? You've got nuns there as well. You've got girls in pink. Yeah, nice beach. Yeah, but it's too shiny. Well, we'll show them all later. Okay. Trevor said certainly he's trying to force the pace a bit here. The score at 7 for 358. I mean, really, they're well ahead, aren't they? So we'll go out in a minute properly and have a good look. Let's let the score go on a little bit. So Australia 7 for 358. And Head's just playing very casually. But I don't think that's Head. He's 118 not out. Stark's 18 not out. Into the 88th over. So is this the eighth over of the new ball that they have? I'm assuming it is. Also, Ollie Robinson's spells have been around the 130 odd mark. He slowed down to the 120s. Share your thoughts on Stokes' no ball issue. How can they need international bowler at 14th? Well, because the actual umpiring machinery that did not work, and they were unable to. They had to be the third umpire to judge every no ball, and they lost the plot a bit there. They weren't following carefully enough, and only when the wicket came did they follow it. So Ben Stokes was under the impression he was bowling okay. So that, but it is pathetic umpiring. And you can blame Ben Stokes. Ben Stokes was getting away with thinking that he was bowling hard. I don't think Ben Stokes really knew. Actually, in all honesty, you should know. You look where your feet's planted, you have an idea. A professional bowler should know exactly where his foot is. Umpiring is important too, but the bowler should know where he's bowling from. That's hardly excusable. So after 88 overs, 7 for 359. This is a 53-run partnership between these two guys, with Stark and Travis Head. 7 for 359. 53-run partnership. Way too much for these two on their positions on really. They're 212 in front after 88 overs, really. So I don't live in Queensland. I live in Sydney. Robert Muller lives in Queensland. It might have helped Ben had the umpire called the no balls early on, not 14 balls later. Yeah, that's true. It's frustrating for Ben Stokes to be pulled up when he took a wicket. A bit late. So Australia was 7 for 359. Mark Wood has come on to bowl. Header's 119. And Stark is 18. 53-run partnership. Moved to 360. Head moves to 120. He's not going to forget this innings anyhow, is he? Just updating the scores. Australia are well in front. Well in front. 212, 213 in front, in fact. They're playing, I would argue, very conservatively. Through into the 89th over. Who was the best bowler of death overs in the test? In all three formats. I mean, Stark certainly is one of the better ones. Trent Bolt certainly is as well. And a few of the Indian medium pacers do very well. Bumrah, of course. Stark's batting what I would say rather conservatively. If I was Mark, well, I'd be giving a bit of chin music. And we got bananas there. Seven for 360 it's a 213-run lead. Make that 214 as Stark pushes the ball out through the covers. In fact, he gets 2. So 7 for 362 now. Seven for 362. Stark 20, Head 120. It's going along very well indeed. We lost a bit of got you back, guys. I'm not sure what happened there, but we lost it for a while there. So after 89 overs, Australia 7 for 362, with Robinson coming back on to bowl the 90th over. So there's still 4 runs and over. If it's 90 over 360, that goes to 4 rather nicely. Big mistake by Joe. Batting conditions certainly got better. They certainly did. Head's in for the long haul here. He's batting with great stability. There's no rush whatsoever. Well, Head's just about put any fears of his form to the side, and he will bat probably the series now, but shouldn't rest on his laurels as well, but it's a good start. As an England fan, very tough to see this beating. Well, there you go, it is. A rare short ball. So Australia are 215 in front on the first innings. Quite a whopping lead. Bunch of guys with look like tennis outfits on with orange curly hair. Having a bit of a laugh. Yeah, it's very slow going at the moment. 7 for 362. Stark on 20. Head on 120. Not out. 50 plus run partnership here. Clouds coming through, but not heavy. Good ball from Ollie Robinson. Great delivery. Completely beats Trevor's. Head is on 120. Neck and crop. We'll try to wrap up this by today itself. Abhishek Sharma, I would say so. You would hope so. So it's 5:30 in the morning, almost in India. People are starting to wake up. Abhishek Sharma looks like he just woke up. Good ball from Robinson. Well up outside off stump. Good ball indeed. Head's just pulled the ball away. What looks like at least a single. 2 to Head. 3 for 7 for 364. With the last ball, the 90th over. Being bowled now. So 217 ahead. Even if England score 350, they're only going to be 100 odd in front. You would think that's not enough. But they won't score 350. Who's the most known, most followed, and most famous cricketer in the world? Kohli. Definitely. Robert Sharma would be another. Head is 122. Stark is 20. Wood, who's bowling now, has got 1 for 60 off 21 overs. This is the 91st over we're going into. The score is 7 for 364. Wood should just really blast him out, shouldn't he? There's got to be some more action. This is too boring. 217. We've added what? 21 to the overnight score. Australia will probably just bat, but then even though it's the third day, they should worry a little bit about the weather, a little bit. They're in two there. Stark to 22, ahead to 122. So they're keeping pace with each other. It's almost 219, the lead. When head gets out, will declare. Maybe. Someone's reversing. The 219 in front. I mean, anywhere over 250 and game over, really. It's 11 o'clock here in Australia. It's 5:30 in India in the morning, and it's midnight in England. When the head gets out, okay. There's a lot to be said. Everybody's watching this. Let's have a little look at them. It's pretty ordinary crew conversations. It's amusing. Wanted to check a few things there. Yeah, well, there's a bit of chin music going on. It was elbow music. Stark, Hazelman line don't want to get injured, that's for sure. So they're still 360. Best chance of England to win a test in Australia saw like play four seamers, Ansonville, Robinson, and Wood. Do you agree? Yes, I would agree totally with that. The last ball, they're putting a short leg gully, let's call it. So after 91 overs, the score is 7 for 366. Just on average of 4 an over. Thomas has taken 3 wickets for 53 and has bowled well. We can't deny that. So we've got an hour and almost an hour and a half of this, and we've seen virtually nothing happen. Addictive. It is addictive. It's the history of cricket, Anton, is amazing. So Indians are starting to wake up. It's now 11 o'clock. It's 5:30. It'll be like it's about 6:30. We should be right. Or 6:30. 6. Travis Head's batting also conservatively here. Head's been beaten. Head's been beaten by Robinson several times. Head can't handle Robinson, that's for sure, at the moment. 7 for 3, 6-6. Australia lead by 219. Realistically, it's way too, way more. Okay. So Head's just pushed the ball away to a deep point, and that puts Australia ahead by 220. It's far too many, I think. Stark is batting better than the English top order. I would agree with that. So they're effectively. So Wokes has bowled 22. Robinson's into his 22nd as well. The 220 in front. Oops. That didn't carry, and it's annoying everyone here. That ball was popped by Stark to mid-off. It didn't reach. Very annoying for the very annoying for the English. They're getting very frustrated out here at the moment. I don't think Stokes bowled an enormous no ball, and probably bowled several deliveries before that. They were enormous no balls as well, which if he'd been pulled up early, he may have rectified that and bowled the ball and taken a wicket. Anyway. So 7 for 367. 220 in front. Ben Stokes looks as frustrated as I am with what I'm saying. The last ball, the 92nd over. Ollie Robinson's bowling exceptionally. This is lethargic cricket. I'd right through the middle of them. I would much prefer to see Stark and Head going nuts, hitting the ball, chancing their luck, and maybe losing their wicket rather than this defensive. I know they're trying to grind England down, bowl them out as much as they can, so maybe to tie them as much as they can leading into the next test, but that's still 6 days away. So you'd think that's enough time to recover him if they did do that. Mark Wood's back on again. The last thing England need is Mark Wood and the like to be injured in this match, but I guess they have to continue to pursue a wicket. There's a bit of rain in the distance there I can see. You think Stark and Head should now get T20, I agree, and let England play after lunch tour. I would too. There's plenty of give in this wicket still. Interesting shot by Head. It was nothing to gain from that shot. Let it go. 220 in front, Australia, 7 for 3. It was 144 delivery. Head's got a hold of that one. There's at least one. Are they going for 2 or is it 2? Yeah, they got 2 off that. Rain, that could save England. Rain here in Sydney, not in Brisbane. There's a bit of cloud there. There'll be rain later today. I'm pretty sure there will be. Typical climate of Queensland, or subtropical Queensland. So as Richie Beno would always say, the lead is 2-2-2. Not for long. It's just gone. Head's gone for it. Got a single. $370. $7 for $370. So they lead by 223. Stark on 22, head on 126. Looks like Stark's got himself a boundary. They have. 7 for 374. This is just getting away from them now. Leach was pretty sloppy with his fielding. Stark on 26, head 126. They're absolutely cruising here. Maybe they should bring Leach on so he might be able to manufacture a wicket. Stark 27, head 126, score 7 for 375. Australia are 228 in front. Richie Beno was the best Australian commentator, absolutely, with his 2 for 222. Really, Stark on 27, head on 126, 7 for 375. It's pretty hot there in Brisbane at the GABBA. Stark 27, head 126. Wood 1 for 70 after 23 overs. 93 overs have gone for 375. Still averaging 4 and over. 7 for 375. Very, very dour batting going on here. They've added 32 this morning. $32 runs a minute this morning. Really, it's just boring. Sorry, it's a bit boring. I'm getting very frustrated. I want to watch some, honestly. Travis Head blasted away last year, so now he's playing defensive. So I'm not exactly sure why he would do that. Why wouldn't he just continue in the same vein that he batted like yesterday? A slow ball there from Robinson, probably tempting Stark to go for it. He's not there. Australia almost look like they want to grind away now. Yesterday they could have. I think there's the only mistake that's been made here is if there's a lot of rain over the next couple of days, they might rue this. Should have blasted, got it quickly, and got in front. Very good slow ball. We're going to get some inclement weather here very shortly, by the way. This is in Sydney, not in Queensland. $228 in front. Really, I should get it 250 and then just go for it. They want to tie down England to the max. Yes, that's what they're doing, mentally and physically. Disintegrate them. Stark's batting like a bloody opener. Gilchrist does a good job as a commentator. Shane Warne has much to learn here. Very annoying at times. He certainly can be. Hussey's with Border at the moment. Starks just hit the ball for 4, straight down the ground off Robinson. Score 7 for 379. Stark's gone to 31. Seven for 379. That's 232 in front. They've added 36 this morning. That was a good straight drive. It was a good straight drive. If Stark's got 100, no words exactly, it would be disgraceful. I don't think that's how long Australia want to bat for. I'm pretty sure they're not going to bat that long. Yeah, they won't be batting this long. They won't be batting that long. So with Travis Head now, it's 7 for 379. Travis Head's 126 not out. Stark is 31 not out. 94 overs have gone. Still comfortably about 4 runs and over. It's past midnight in most countries. Well, in England at least. Ben Stokes is coming back on for his 10th over. Let's see how he fares up. Really, they should just go for it. I think once Travis Head reaches 150, he will go ballistic. Well, he's got 24 runs still to get. Are we going to see blocking for the next period? I think they're already 232 in front. They need to be going for it now. They just don't know what the weather will do. Well, it looks like Head's decided to go for it. He's just whacked one over Ben Stokes there. It's got a 130. It was a 6, actually. Was it a 6? It was a 6. I think he's starting now. See where that ball's gone. And it's cleared the boundary. 385, so they're almost to 238 in front. Travis is 132 now. He's just in, it looks like another 4, is it? That was 1. Does anyone have any chance at all now? Surely that must be. They are. They're missing Archer, they're missing Anderson, they're missing Broad. Still only the first test, guys. Long, long way to go. Yeah, 386 for 7. Heads on 133 now. Starks on 31. And last ball, the 95th over coming up from Stokes. His last of his 10 overs. 7 for 386. Missing Ben. Was it Ben Stokes or Ben Folkes? He's also not there. Well, that's over. The 95th over has been bowled. The score is 7 for 386. Stark on 31 and Head on 133. The total is, in fact, now the lead, at least, is just on 240. 239. 6%. 73 metres. It's pretty short. Something a bit wishy-washy here. I'm starting to lose a bit of the weather here. I might just start to consider bringing us indoors here, guys. Might get a bit of rain coming through. So bear with me a sec, guys. I'll just have to do a bit of manoeuvring. Not it's about to rain. So you're looking at back of my car. I have to see a roof there for a while, guys. We're about to get some rain here. I'm just having to prepare for the rain, guys. England would like it to be, for their sake, somewhere closer. Just going to have a look over here, guys. Just to show you where we are. Let's have a look here. I can't really see. I see the glare there. That's beach there in the background. So I have to go back into the car now. It's starting to. It's about to rain. Score has gone 7 for 387. So you can't really see the back. There's too much glare. Seven for 387, guys. Where are you, mate? Where am I going? Oh, it's raining, so I have to be able to get some traction here because it's about to rain. Rain where I am, at least. Not raining at the ground there, so there's no respite for the Poms. They're still having to play out there. They're now 240 runs. Here we are. All right. Looks like Starks just hit a pretty comfortable drive. It's gone for another boundary. So that's 391. England are cruising. Absolutely cruising. Pretend I'm going nowhere. So 391 is the score. It's just ever increasingly getting worse for England. Innings defeat for sure, yeah. It's looking that way. 7 for 391 there. 244 in front now. They've added almost added 50 runs this morning. It was 7 for 343 at the start of today's play, and they've added 48. So the lead is 244. Horrendously. And Stark's going for it again. He looks like Stark is now out. Burns took a catch. Hooray! Burns took a catch off Wokes. Stark is out for 35. Caught Burns, who drops catches normally. Bowled Wokes for 35, and the score is 8 for 391. So, hooray. We've got 48 added this morning, and the wickets finally fallen. You would imagine there'll be a slow capitulation after this now. 8 for 391. Good on. Burns took a catch. We probably didn't expect that after his performances yesterday. Head's justified his place, certainly has. At last, a catch caught by Burns, yes. At 8 for 391, out comes Nathan Lyon, who will join Head is on 134 not out. 96 overs have gone. It's 363. Well, they're well and truly in front. 244 in front. Now, we talked earlier about, I think we talked about a total of around around 250 is more than enough. The 244 ahead now. If they would like to keep their players, if you look at the weather outside, it's very bleak. Even Australia now know that they have to get it past 300, 350. Well, the 244, they get the 350, they're 106 in front, which should not be enough. I guess Australia would like another 30 or 40 runs to be absolutely sure. So Nathan Lyon's played, age is 34. He's played 101 test matches, scored 1,101 runs. So he scored more than 1,000 runs. Let's give him some credit. He hasn't taken his 400th wicket, though. At least a 300 lead. Well, a 244 at the moment. I think Head will be going for it. Well, he should have been caught at first slip, but he hasn't been. He's got a single. Head's popped it to what was a regulation first slip catch, and Stokes is having a bit of a chat with him. Eight for 392, so they're effectively 245 in front. Heads 135. That's quite a good effort. They've added 45 this morning. almost 343, so almost added 50 this morning. They've now added 50. They've added 50 this morning for the loss of 1 wicket. Burns would be relatively happy he took a catch. Where will it happen the 5th to Pratham? Man, it looks as though it'll be Hobart. We're not sure yet, but likely to be Hobart. So Heather's actually got, there was a ball, it was short, it wasn't well played, it popped into the gap. It does look like they're going to be going for it from now on. I think that we're almost there now. 394 the total. So there'll be effectively a 247 in front now. 247 in front. England only got 147 in the first innings. They're going to be hard pressed to get 247 in the second innings, you would think. Eight for 394. Line on 1, head on 136. Lions trying desperately to pull these shot balls, and he's not getting anywhere with them. There are 3 runs from, they need 3 runs to make it. It's now 6 a.m. in India. Australia are 8 for 394. They've added some 51 runs this morning and have a 247 lead. Heads on 136. He's added 24 today. Line is on 1. After 97 overs, Australia are 8 for 394. So still over 4 and over, which is pretty impressive. Very, very dark here in Sydney. Not in Queensland. Queensland is definitely has considerably more cloud than it did yesterday. Fairly thick, but not dark clouds. But that means that we should see rain at some stage here there in Brisbane. Wait and see. It's 8 for 394. Look, it's an impressive scoreline considering England got 147. They're virtually 247 in front. And with line on 1 and head on 136 with 8 down for 394, you would think that we're going to see some fireworks from head, maybe to get 150 and then see what happens. Wokes is coming in a bowl. He got the wicket the previous over. We got Burns to take a catch for Stark. So really, there's only Hazelwood sitting there back in the dressing room at the moment. Not sure what that was, but it was brought the score to 345. 395, I should say, which means that Australia are really 248 in front, which is what we expected to be enough, really. Hit a nice 6 and we'll be done. Works is coming in the bowl. Lions batting even conservatively. It's annoying. Let's get some. I'm in Sydney, yes. Overcast Sydney. An overcast Sydney there. In Brisbane, it's not that way. Chance of finding an MH 370 are higher than a draw in this game. It's a Canadian joke, is it? Or a Sri Lankan? Or a Sunda joke? Come on, for God's sake. Line in the head. Go for it. Either get runs or get out. This is getting bloody boring. Very boring. With a lead of 248, it's enough. Go for it. Let's see some fireworks. We've been an hour into play here. The drinks break is due. Well, probably has just happened. And Lions playing some weird shots there. I don't know. Beautiful. I know I am. What do you mean, the view or me? Looking at the 2010 test, England were all out for 260, Australia 481, and England won for 517. Australia won for 100, so the match was drawn. So they're trying to suggest that maybe England could come up with a good second innings total. I think I was just killing time for now by going slow. What they're alluding to is potentially that England couldn't come back with fireworks and get 400 in the second innings, and it's possible, but it's unlikely. If England were to get 400 in the second innings, that would mean Australia would have 150 runs to get, or thereabouts, which is highly unlikely. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Give Harris a chance to bat. He needs to get some runs. Head needs to just take the strike. He's on 130. He wants to get 150. Blast away and see what happens. The Lions just fidgeting. 98 overs have gone. 395 to score. It's become a very frustrating scoreline here. Let's hope that we get something out of this Australian effort when it comes to bowling. Get this game decisively. It's the third day of a test match. It should be over. England have been comprehensively beaten so far. Heads on 136 now. He's only added 24 this morning. He's playing little tiddlywink shots. Gets throw the bat. After what we saw yesterday from Head, where he got 112 in a session, which is 2 hours. In 1 hour, he's only got 24, so he's a hell of a long way from what he was yesterday. And that disappoints me somewhat. I would like to see him go, because Doug Waters would have went at the same efforts. Gilchrist would have gone at the same pace as he did yesterday. There was no need to be conservative today. It's a single. Yeah, it is. Test matches are most more exciting. And yeah, they certainly were. I think this is very, very boring tactics. After what they did yesterday, Trevor said should have went at the same pace as he did yesterday. And not this pace. This has been very sluggish. So Australia led by 221 on the first innings of the test match last time, but England were 1 for 517. And Australia then were 1 for 107. So, yeah, interesting. Ben Stokes will try something. Pretty sure he will. And the Lions gone for broke and got nothing on it. It's quite frustrating. It's very, very frustrating. I can see if I can put that there. There we are, but you're going to be covered by my wheel. That hasn't proven very successful, has it? Oh, no, I'll put it in there. Hang on, guys. I'm trying to work out what's going on there. There we are. That's right. I can sit here properly now and not have to worry about holding this stupid thing all the time. I've got my passenger there. If I had a passenger, it'd be good. Car karaoke. That's what I should do, actually, shouldn't I? I heard someone in the car, we could talk. Can you hear me, guys? Have I been to Kerala? I certainly have been to Kerala. No, actually, no, I'll take that back. Gopal, I haven't been to Kerala. I've been to Bangalore, Chennai, Mumbai. I've been to several places. I've been to Chennai, Mumbai. I've been to several places, actually. Well, I've been to Amritsar, Delhi, Agra, Jaipur, Bangalore, as in Bangalore, Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata. That's about eight of the places I've been to. I think that's it. For all those talks about lack of preparation, have got 2.5 days to bat England. You should come to Kerala. I will one day. Well, they've scored 8 for 400 there. Lions got away with it after 99 overs, 8 for 400. It's similar to Sri Lanka. I'm sure it is. I'll come there. So 8 for 400 is the score. And the rain's starting to fall here in Sydney. I'm going to signs really because it shouldn't be 8 for 400. Now, they've got a lead of 253. Is that enough? I think it is. So if that's, Australia got a starting to rain. Can you see this rain starting to fall? Can you hear the rain? Travis has just flicked it to the leg side. Travis Head is on 138. The score is 8 for 400 still. Didn't put the run down there. Oh, the story was there. Ishigua, Mark and Kerry O'Keefe are commentating at the moment. The score, of course, is 8 for 400 into the 100th over of the match, of the innings. Score seems to be stuck on 400. There's a mistake there. So they're at least 403. They're certainly stuck on something wrong with the scoreboard. It's stuck at the moment. I think that's 8 for 403 actually. So look. The scoreboard's stuck. Mine's not. Lines on 7 and headers on 138. The score should be at least 403, but it seems to have stuck on at 400. Australia are 260 odd in front. Way too. Let's have a look at the scoreboard. Stuck on 403. Correct. Australia by 256. Looks like the electronic scoreboard for the Foxtel stack. It's amazing how overstepped Ben Stokes remained unnoticed from umpire. 14 times was called for two times. It's right. Awful, actually. Awful. Very frustrating performance here. Yeah, they're going to be 260 plus. Really, they've got way too many now, I think. Yet. Well, it's a better batting pitch than it was the first day. Yesterday was pretty good. Today is looking okay so far. What's this? Letting balls go and the Vokes is over. That's exactly 100 overs are gone. I don't know what the tactics are between head and line. What are they talking about? Either you go for it. I mean, there were no issues here. They should be going for it. Very frustrating. Watch this. Very frustrating indeed. I don't know about you, but Barkwood's back on. He should be just blasting them. I'll be blasting him. I thought Root's a little bit frustrated. Yeah, no slips. I should be attacking. The score's not the issue now. Getting wickets, it's probably the thing that counts. Trevor's hit one or two good shots, but not many. No, I'm not sure what Travis is doing. He's playing this awful attempted pull shot. It's really cold here. Cold here in India? Okay. It's not cold here. It's about 18 degrees Celsius. It hasn't gone up any higher than temperature, but no. So at 8 for 403, we seem to be stuck. Woods bowled two shortish balls and head's kind of gone on the line and tried to flick him and got nowhere. He played a Rory Burns shot. China's getting a good warm up for the rest of the series. They certainly are. In the UK, you're in the UK, are you? Whereabouts in the UK? At 8 for 403. Just a bowl on the stumps, for God's sake. They're not showing the score on the bottom anymore. The also is a single, which brings the score to 8 for 404. You know, you would argue that's enough runs. So you're in Nottingham. Trent Bridge, Nottingham, isn't it? Trent Bridge is in Nottingham. 8 for 404. Head is 139. Line is 7. 8 for 404. They're ahead by now 257. The Lions decided to whack it and it's gone nowhere really too far. They'll get 2. They got 3 there or 2? They got 3, did they? Looks like they got 3. So if that's the case, then $407 is the score. Is it a 6? Doesn't say. It looks like he says a 6. Let's have a little look. Lions laughing. Where are they going? The drinks break, is it? I have to look what the score is there. It's a drinks break here officially. Well, Lion had a 6 at the last ball, did he? Looking, no, it was actually a 6 by Travis Head. So Travis Head is 145. The score's 413 here. There's this massive bloody 6 to finish the session off. 4 drinks. Eight for 413 at drinks. 8 for 413. Line is 10 not out when he's the 4. And Travis is 145 not out, having hit 13 4s and 4 6s. Australia lead by now 266. It's more than enough. You would think. You would think. You would think. So if you lead by 266, what would you do? I'd be going for it crazily and hoping for a draw. It's raining here quite heavily at the moment. So my tour of outside won't happen, guys. It's pouring heavily here with rain here in Sydney. Not happening in Brisbane that way. That's very unusual that I can say that it's not happening in Brisbane the same way. Back again, still at Coogee. Yes, I'm still at Coogee. It's raining now in Coogee. That's why I'm inside the car, because I went outside, it'd be wet. Australia again, 8 for 413. Some 266 runs ahead. Travis Head is 145. 13 4s and 6. 13 4s and 4 6s. Nathan Lyons on 10. Mark Woods bowled 24 overs. Chris Wokes has bowled 25. Chris Wokes has 2 wickets. Mark Wood has 1. The last full was 391, so this partnership was already 24. You hear the rain pitter-pattering. Declare, declare. I agree. Declare, for God's sake. It's raining extremely heavily. Didn't see that shot. Was Coogee United extra time spelled with two O's. COOG double E. Line is on 10. Travis Head's on 145 with 13 fours and 4 sixes. The score is 6 for 413. They're 266 runs ahead. Showing highlights of the inning so far. Don't mind sending the ball all over the place. So we've got a good old Leach coming on the bowl. 8 for 413 Leaches on, so they're going to try and buy a few wickets, I'd say. With Lyon facing. Why don't they run a single there? Try to 266 in front. That's way too many. Score of 8 for first 6 for Head in 19 sets. First 6, what do you mean? Sixes? Is it 4 of them? $4.14. Bit of spin there. Head should try and score it. First 6 points and we'll get that 150. Looks Head's intentions are pretty clear there. 268, is it? 267. 267 runs in front. Way too many. Travis Head, 145 not out. Let's see a big 6 to make it 150 and give it a resounding finish. He's tried some sort of unusual scoop shot. This looks like he might get just the one. Yes. That banner's got to edit. Scroll across bottom. There we are. 8 for 4.15. 8 for 4.15. Getting a bit foggy in there. Wood to bowl. Bizarre shot at Landers. Really, this is some very agonising batting going on here. Is it deliberate? Probably. 8 for 4.16. They're going to be well ahead. Eight 4.16. How is the current COVID situation there? We're all vaccinated. We're 95% vaccinations, well over 80 in most other states. It's under control. We're still getting COVID cases, but they're not as deadly. 8 for 4.16. So there's a lead now, 269. Wood coming in the bowl to Lyon. And Lyon tried his best to pull it, and all he did was just top edged it for 4. And the score goes to 8 for 4.20 with a lead of 273 now. Boring match, yeah, I agree. Butler tried his best, but didn't get there. Probably should have taken it, actually. He hit it up in the air this time. This time he's out. Yes. 9 for 4.20. Lions just scooped it up. Lions gone. Are they going to declare? No, they're not. They're going to keep going. No one near the bat, that shot. 9 for 4.20. 9 for 4.20. So they're how many are in front are they now? They're 73, 273 in front. I reckon we'll see Head absolutely explode now. 9 for 4.20. 273 in front. Hazel pretending he can bat. Shouldn't be nasty, but let's see. Hazelwood's had his age of 30. He's had 56 test matches, 445 runs, average of 12, best 39. This day gets a 50. Be nice to see Head get his 150. Hear the rain clattering behind us, raining pretty heavily here in Sydney. Very heavily in Sydney indeed. So 9 for 4.20. With Travis Head joined now by Hazelwood. Lead by 273. Not forgetting England only got 147 in their first innings, so they're not far from having to double the score in the first innings and the second innings. Time from lunch tea is very critical for England if they want to have those. That's true. Hazelwood has no idea where that ball's gone. Just bowl a Yorker and get him out, for God's sake. Short ball to Hazelwood's quite tall. On the bat, I think. Ooh, almost a good Yorker. Well, Abby, they need more than just lunch to tea. They need about another day or they need another 2 days. Travis said he's to get the strike, get his 150. Make sure of that. Nine for 420, so 273 in front. Travis, it's 147 not out. And if he's facing now, I'd be hitting the first ball for a 4 or 6 if I were him. Is he facing? He's not facing. Or is he facing? Yeah, it's not about being generous and giving Head his 250. They want any generosity here. He's just clobbered that and it's gone for 4. And there it is. Travis Head has just scored 150. Sorry, guys, I lost you there for a while. Can you hear me? Just acknowledge you can hear me, guys, because it's a bit. I'm not able to get the same situation there. The score itself is 9 for 425. With, of course, Travis Head hitting a nice boundary to get his 150. So 425 is the score. Sorry about that loss of communication. England have so at 9 for, let's have a look here. Nine for 425. Can you hear me, guys? Just let me know if you can hear me. 9 for 425. Australia are now, geez, 278 in front. Yeah, 278 in front. Way too many. I think, really. Based on what we've seen in the first innings, you'd think that would be England could bat better in the second innings. I've got no doubt. I'm not going to doubt that. Nine for 425. Mr. Travis Head has moved on nicely. Let's just move this here again. Let's see if we can get that to work. There we are. Get back again. 9 for 425. Travis Head has certainly shown his wares. He's batted well. He got 150 not out here. I think if I was him, I'd like to be not out. So play good, play good shots, but not get out now. I think he should be not conservative. Play balls on the ground, not sky balls. He's 150 there is very, very impressive indeed. 9 for 425. He scored 150 runs in a test match. By far, innings that he needed to score. 9 for 425. They lead by 278, which is more than enough runs. There. Travis Head must be happy with himself. Very, very happy with himself. He's 152 not out. 14 fours and 4 sixes. Hazel's yet to score 9 for 425 in the 105th over now, which is quite impressive indeed. When you think of the fact that he came in and scored could easily be a lot less. No, he's not. Oh, he hit the ball mighty high, mighty long. He could be out. He's been dropped. Hamid's dropped to the backward square leg. With his 95 fingers bandaged there. Hamid with the number 97. That's probably how many bandages he's got in his hands. It's just given Travis another life, or a life. Mark Wood's bowler. He's just clobbered it up there. He's trying to get 6. Hamid has actually done well to get there, but then when he was there, he's just not even 2 hands together. It was like a one-handed effort. 3 fingers. Oh, well, Head's finally given up to that. Travis Head is all out. They're running off, and they're not really running off, I guess, because it's still 40 minutes to go. So Travis Head's given up his wicket. He played a pretty poor shot, given Mark Wood his 3rd wicket. There's plenty of room there. He's dropped the ball before, so I guess we thought, what the hell, go and keep going. Australia all out. They're not run. Oh, and he was dropped. Maybe they didn't run. So what's the score there? Okay, let's just have a look at the story is there. So Australia are all out for 425, so they didn't actually run on that last ball. The one that was Sky, they didn't actually run, so So 147 to 425. That means you have a lead now of 278. 278. England have to knock off 278 runs before they can make Australia bat again. That's what they've got to do. We might end this all down, so yep. So we might end the show there, guys. We'll have to wait for England to bat again. Rory Burns on a golden pair. We'll bat with Hamid, who's got the 95 things on his fingers. I think that'll be enough for the show today, guys. Unless you want to hang around, it's up to you. You tell me, because at the moment we've pretty much on break. England are 278 runs adrift, which is not a good situation. It's a love policing here. I'm going to go for the air time, mate. Domino's pizzas, well, Domino's pizzas. It's a simple, it's time for guys. We've got a hell of a situation here for England to get back in this match. They need to get 278 runs. 278 runs just to get the chance to bat again, for Australia to bat again. That's a lot. They're going to be struggling to be anywhere near that in the end. It's going to be quite an awful effort, really. They're showing on a break at the moment for the cricket, so it's not a good situation at all for, all that for 425. England got 147, 278 runs adrift. They've got 2.5 days, more than 2.5 days to get the runs. There's about another nice little half an hour or so time for England to bat now. They could be 2 or 3 down. They could be all out by the close of today. Who do you open the bowling with, Stark or Josh? Well, Stark definitely, and Josh Hazlewood. They're normally the ones from who will open the bowling. They like to put Cummins in the first shape, but it took only 5 overs. Cummins bowled the 5th over of the first innings, they already had taken 2 wickets by that stage. So yeah, Stark and Hazlewood have to open him. Absolutely. All right, so we might. Do you want to watch the first few overs together, or do you want to stop now? Tell me, guys, because I'm waiting for your take on this. Comment in the comment section if you want me to continue on. Watch a few of the first overs with Stark and Hazlewood ripping into Rory Burns and Hamid. Rory Burns on a golden pair. How can you keep his head high? You certainly can. 152, I think he got. Wasn't it 152 that he scored? Yeah, 152. Yeah. It's pretty different, really. Forward. So head actually got 152. Let's have a look here. So I'm actually trying to do this now. I'm going to post the effort of community. Yes. Okay. So first few overs, right? I'll say head can keep his head high. We'll say the first few overs. Let's do that, shall we? Let's have a look here. I'm sure there's a good photo there. And so Australia lead is 278. Australia all out for 425. Apply to England 147. There we go. It's quite a lead. 278. That's mammoth lead. You have to argue that's just about done. I think they're going to come out pretty soon. Australian players are already limbering up and ready to walk out. What's the first couple overs? If Rory Burns and Hamid can survive, well, that's the start. Cummins is there. Australia looks quite refreshed. England, on the other hand, Ben Stokes is hobbling up the stairs there, I can see. And he's blue, so he's not hoping he goes out there in any hurry. Here we are. The weather is 28 degrees Celsius. Humidity is 57%. Well, it's 18 here. It's 10 degrees less here in Sydney. At 12:20, so it's 11:20 there. Hamid's come out. He's 95 fingers plastered up, and Rory Burns is way behind him. He's not keeping pace with him. We'll have to wait and see what's going to happen there, hey? Well, Warner used a DSC back, got 94. Rory Burns has got a DSC, but he got a golden duck, so let's see whether we can change that scenario. Hamid's got one finger up without a bat in his hand, and Rory Burns has got holding the bat. I'm a bit confused with why Hamid's standing with his finger up in the shot. It's weird. So I can't see. Strange enough, Hamid's facing the first ball. Surprise, surprise. Hamid's decided to take the first ball. He's played 7 matches with 384 runs, 450s. He hasn't scored a century either. But he's facing the first ball. Surprise, surprise. Rory Burns not facing the first ball. I'm shocked. He had guts. He'd face the first ball. That's what I reckon. Because it shouldn't happen a second time again what happened in the first innings. You would think. Mitchell Stark batted a bit this morning. He's played 62 test matches for 757 wickets. 31 years of age. Multi-millionaire already. Pat Cummins, multi-millionaire. Hazelwood quietly probably is a multi-millionaire as well. Warner, Smith, multi-millionaires. Multi-millionaire. Talking tens of millions here. Well, Pat Cummins bought a $9.5 million house up the road here. Portfolio of Stevens is around the 40 million mark. Warner's got probably 20 or 30. Stark's got 10, 15, 20 million worth of property. That's it for life. Mitchell Stark to bowl the first look this time to Hamid, not to Burns. Let's see what happens first ball. Not far away from an LBW. Yeah, exactly. Burns on strike, is it? It's swung and cut in too high, too sharp. geez, I don't think Hamid had any idea whatsoever what was going on there. It's hit him on the arm, has it, or what? It's come in and he's just stood there. It's hit him on the elbow. It's just risen up and hit him on the elbow. Yeah, on the forearm. Looks like I might have copped his padding there. He's not having much fun with that delivery. Although he's driven that ball away beautifully. Get at least two. He'll get three possibly. They've gone just two, they've gone three. Top two very difficult first balls, but then the third ball got a four ball on through. Now the question is, Rory Burns' first ball, which is the fourth ball of the innings. So Burns will be fatally planned, I think. He would not, I repeat, not want to get out the same way again. He's having a chat to somebody. He's chatting to me. Roy Burns will be having kittens at the moment, I reckon. Stark will be doing his level best to. Let's have a look at this. Let's look at the camera. Still, movement was still a little bit offside there in his first movement. Fifth ball, let's see what he does. That is Rory Burns. He handled the first, but I reckon it's going to be even more of a Yorker. He's got himself more confidently there behind that. Looking forward to your live sessions from the playground. From the playground? From the ground. From the playground. Well, the playground over here. It's raining. I'm not going anywhere. Burns survives as he does. I'm going to watch 2 overs, guys, and that'll be it, I think. Then Hazelwood and they will see what happens. It was a very similar ball, and he's out. He's been clobbered on the pads there, and Rory Burns' last, not one ball this time, but 3 balls. He's going to go through the review, but that looks out to me. Very similar delivery that got him bowled. This time it's in his pads. It was full enough. Burns goes again. He might have to see Zach Crawley in next innings. No, he's puts in the right spot. That's not a question. A little bit high, but not high enough, I think. It certainly looks like it's in front. It may be a little bit too high. Maybe just a little bit too high. What do you think, guys? Height, yeah, I think it's too high. Yeah, it looks pretty high to me. He's not a tall man, but it looks high to me. In line, and missing. Yeah, I thought it would be too high. Not by a lot, but yeah, it was in line, but too high. Good review. Rory Burns Silence. Big breath here for birds. Burns all 3 times moved too far across the officer. Yeah, missing. Yeah, Heights definitely got it. See Josh Haynes was first over. Then I'll call it off, guys. Hazelwood's last over. I'm going. You can watch the rest. We'll come back later today. So Hazelwood's played 56 test matches for 214 wins. I think Cummins has got 160 on, so they're catching. It's a little bit too short, 2 bucks bounce. What a ball, yes, also. He's exited second ball, but hasn't carried. Recently, what happened with Labuschagne? Labuschagne first slip. So Labuschagne's at first slip. One was there before as well. Joe Richardson's out there. I'm guessing Trevor's here. Okay, this is the last over, guys. I'm going to be. Make sure you view, like, and share. Subscribe. Hit the notification button. It's the 318 live video. 72 live. Balls. Hamid seems a bit more assured that he's batting. Burns screwed in the head after what happened. Definitely the last over, guys. Last over, okay. 2 balls for Hazelwood to show his wares. And me looking quite assured. 1 more ball to go and we're done. Also good ball, he's paddled way too far the offside. Different technical flaw going on there with Roy Burns. Still on a duck. Okay, guys, that's it. I'll talk to you all later this afternoon. View, like, and share the post. Subscribe. Hit the notification button. At Norm Koch for Twitter and Instagram. Eyes on Cricket there for my YouTube channel. Norm Koch for Facebook and LinkedIn. See you later, guys.